Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. A Hopkins County man has been arrested when he was unable to ship over 100 head of cattle back to their West Texas home. Lindy Wayne Shipley, age 48, was arrested by Hopkins County investigators, and Tony Hurley, Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association Special Ranger. Shipley failed to return over 100 head of cattle to their West Texas ranch after he had rented grazing lands to the rancher for the past 2 years. Hurley said it's not unusual for West Texas ranchers to send cattle to Northeast Texas for grazing purposes. Weather conditions and growth of grass are often the prevailing reason. Shipley was providing grazing for the 263 head of cattle at $20 each per month. When the rancher sent trucks to the grazing land located between Silver Bluff and Saltillo along FM 900, not all were returned, and Shipley offered no reasonable explanation. Hurley stated law enforcement attempts to contact Shipley regarding the missing cattle had been refused by Shipley. He had refused to take their calls. According to Hurley, authorities are unsure at this time what has become of the cattle. He stated that the investigation is ongoing. Shipley is in Hopkins County Jail, charged with theft of cattle over $150,000 and less than $300,000. His bond has been set at $250,000 on the felony 2 charge. Detrice Williams of Mesquite, age 19, was arrested following a high-speed chase on I-30 Monday. Hopkins County deputies observed a gray Toyota Corolla westbound near the 134-mile marker. The deputy clocked her speed at 107 miles per hour in a 75-mile-per-hour zone. Attempting to initiate a stop, he turned on his patrol lights, but Williams' vehicle continued at a high speed while changing lanes multiple times during the 7-mile chase. Her erratic driving and high speed created dangerous situations for other drivers on the interstate highways who were very often using their brakes as she passed. She exited at the 127 exit and entered Days Inn parking lot, driving around the building at a high rate of speed and finally coming to a stop on the east side of the building. During the arrest, marijuana residue was found in the front floorboard driver's side. That caused probable search. The probable search found nothing else in the vehicle. Williams was taken to Hopkins County Jail, where her bond was set at $10,000 Tuesday morning. She's charged with evading arrest or detention in a vehicle, a felony 3. Monday, each Hopkins County commissioner received an additional $50,000 for road work in their precinct when Commissioners Court voted to move $200,000. The $200,000 was taken from 2 different special road and bridge funds that are held in reserve for emergency needs. The funds were moved to allow commissioners to perform much-needed work and order much-needed materials prior to October 1st, according to County Judge Robert Newsom. Newsom and County Commissioner Precinct 1 Beth Weisenbaker told KSST News that after October 1st, it's too late to begin road rebuilding projects due to cooler weather and other weather conditions that occur in late fall and winter. November 1st is the latest date a road can be repaired properly, they said. Commissioner Weisenbaker stated that the money was put to use Tuesday morning for her precinct. She stated that she had ordered crude oil that will cost between $45 and $47 per barrel. She said the money will enable her to begin work with the crude oil as a cost-saving move. Weisenbaker pointed out that crude oil mix roadways cost approximately $12,500 per mile. A roadway using overlay costs $50,000 per mile. The funds will allow her to work on non-FEMA funded roads first due to the warm weather temperatures. The 4 miles of roadway that she hopes to rebuild and resurface were projects not covered by FEMA funds. She's hoping that warm temperatures and dry weather will continue to permit the oil mix to successfully be put in place. She had a roadway prepared for crude oil Monday afternoon, but a pop-up thunderstorm has delayed that work until the roadway dries. Timing is vital, she stated, both in having funds at the time needed and being able to perform the task in good weather has been rather elusive, according to Weisenbaker. She told KSST News that she would work on specific roads based on soil base, traffic accessibility, and high drainage in case of pop-up storms. It should take about 2 to 3 weeks to complete 1 mile of roadway if the rain stays away. She said that her work would also depend on whether she had hot mix or cold mix available. She said that the hot mix crude applied faster and is more consistent. Judge Newsom said that each commissioner could use the funds according to their specific need. He said most would use the funds for materials. The funds moved from 2 reserve funds will be paid back as taxpayers pay their taxes this next year. Newsom stated that the reserves continue to have enough funds to cover emergencies that could occur. He stated, quote, "If we had waited until October 1st for the new budget, we would have had to order materials to move forward then, and that would have been too late." He said that each commissioner hopes to have their work completed before winter. Here's Don Julian with sports.
The Wildcats football team, cheerleaders, and athletic trainers will have a busy schedule in Orlando, Florida. Wildcats football coach Greg Owens tells us about their busy schedule.
Departure time tomorrow for the players at noon and cheerleaders at 2:30. So everything's rolling still fast, trying to get stuff. Had a big meeting last night with a representative from KSA who came down and gave out tickets and vouchers and talked about all the final preparation and all those things as far as packing. So we're still dealing with rooming list and passenger logs and list and tickets and all that stuff and protocol for all those things. So yeah, I mean, it was interesting. Yesterday we met with a bunch of our players. When we met with our players, we asked them to raise their hand, who had not flown before, and 3/4 of the room had raised their hand. So wow. That's part of this whole experience. So we had a few coaches raise their hand. So I mean, this is part of the whole experience of being able to do that, and their kids get out. And so, we got a ball game to go play, yes, but the experience of the whole deal is incredible. And so we want to thank our community and our fans and parents and the kids that allowed us to have jobs and work and do that stuff to earn their money. And we're still learning a little bit of that. So, but it was good. It's been a great experience for us so far. And yeah, there's a few little headaches involved in all that, but we're excited about the opportunity to go and just to get there. So when we get there on Wednesday night, we'll work out. The team will work out. Cheerleaders come in. We'll all meet back up at the hotel at the resort area about 11 o'clock. We'll have a pizza party and get our final things, and then we start our events on Thursday. It's a very busy day for the football team working out that morning. For the cheerleaders, they go to a workshop, and about 2 or 3 hour workshop for them. We'll all come back together. Then we'll travel to Epcot and for a team meeting and big dining experience and seeing enlightenment. I mean, I forgot what they called it, laser show, light show, and they'll spend a little time in the park. And then on Friday it's game day for everybody. Big breakfast that morning for everybody. Pep rally. JV plays at 11 that day. Varsity plays at 8. Cheerleaders will be cheering at both, and we'll all be at all those games. So there's a lot of stuff in between that has to happen, and so it's it's a busy, cram packed. There's not much breathing space for anybody. I mean, it's get on the bus, move here, move there. So it's a tight itinerary, but it's a really good one. And there's some weather going to be there. I mean, there's going to be some rain, always rain this time of year for those guys. So we'll have to work around that. We'll have to be flexible around that. And we're going to get the game in somehow, and we'll figure it out. We may have to move times and all that. But the game is at 8 their time, Eastern time. So it's 7 o'clock here. So you guys broadcast, I'm assuming, we'll be live. We'll be a 7 o'clock broadcast for everyone here. And so that's what I've been telling people. So I'm glad that was right. So all that takes place, and then we have a big, when we finish the game that night, we'll have a big pizza party when it's all over and a celebration, just time there. And then on all day Saturday, they have an opportunity now to spend some time in the park. So Saturday's kind of a fun play day for them, and they get to go. We'll go to they call Blizzard Beach place, which is, we love it as coaches for our players, because they're going to get in the water and work out all the soreness and all that kind of stuff. So we look at it as a workout, which is what we kind of do when we come up here to get their bodies up and to get them moving. So we're excited about that for them. And then that afternoon they go to Magic Kingdom for the rest of the evening, and then they'll spend all their time there, which is the mothership, the main park. And they'll spend their time there. Then the next morning we'll get back up, and it's travel day on that morning, Sunday morning, but we'll spend some time Sunday morning in the Hollywood studios. And then before we depart, then we leave the park like at 1 o'clock, and we head back, and we'll be back in both cheerleaders and football will land around 8 o'clock back at Dallas Love Field. No, I'm sorry, we'll land about, I think, 6 o'clock, and hopefully be back here about between 8 and 9. And so it'll be fun-packed filled week, and excited about it. And we got to be flexible because we know there's going to be issues with weather and stuff like that, and working around games. And so, but it'll be fun. And again, to see kids' eyes be excited right now. Coaches are excited. Heck, I'm excited. I mean, it's a fun deal. I mean, just for people to go. And again, we're appreciative of everyone. I mean, we had a full house last night in the cafeteria. Not many questions. So either everybody's thoroughly confused or everybody understands what we got to do. And KSA, the group we go through to do this, has done a fantastic job of organizing, planning, preparing, very easy to work with. And when you're moving, I guess Sulphur Springs group's about 250 people, I think, that are going down with us, and besides others going themselves, that's a big task. And getting rooms and meals and all this stuff orchestrated. So, but it's exciting, and we're fun, and we're ready to go.
You had compared it to a bowl experience, and that's exactly what it sounds like, these kind of activities where a team, you're preparing, but at the same time you're having a lot of fun.
It is. I mean, it's all built in there. I mean, it's a business trip, first of all. We get fly on a plane. We get there, we're going to have a workout, we're going to have pregame meals, we're going to have a little pep rally, all those things. I remember that my college days, having an opportunity to do that, and those are fun things. Kind of a banquet setting, we're all sitting at tables together, and the opposing teams over there. I mean, it's some neat stuff that takes place, and just the experience of it all. Just for a kid to get on a plane and stay in a hotel room, and then you get to go see a theme park, and then all that, you're going to play a football game too. So it's fun stuff and exciting, and I hope next week we're sitting here and we're all smiles again and everything's going, and we can just brag on how much fun we had.
The Wildcats offense racked up 479 yards of offense and scored 6 touchdowns against Sherman in the 43-42 win at Gerald Prim Stadium last Friday night. Coming up this Friday, the Wildcats will be facing Seminole Ridge of Florida in Orlando, Florida. Wildcats offensive coordinator Matt Young sized up the offensive effort against Sherman and the assignment this week.
Really pleased with our guys. It was great to see them play and make plays. Like every game, it's a roller coaster. The third quarter there wasn't feeling real good offensively. In hindsight, we probably had some guys finish the game because we didn't play well in the third quarter. Gideon Gregory, who played outstanding at center, real leader up front, was real close to cramping up at halftime, really concerned if he would make 4 quarters, and the limited snaps we had in the third quarter probably allowed him to finish and give us the pass pro we needed there at the end to win. And same deal with a couple other guys. But for us, offensively, we got to execute at a high level. We're going to play physical, not just the line being physical, not just running the ball physical, but blocking on the perimeter physically. Matt Reynolds got after their corners down the field, Cortavius Pruitt, just a lot of guys playing a physical style of ball. And then we're going to play with good tempo. We're not going to always go 1,000 miles an hour. That's not necessarily a personality, but there's going to be good tempo behind it. There's going to be a time where you got to punch it to pass, just like you do when you're driving on the interstate. There'll be times we'll do that with our tempo. So we really kind of learned who we are. We executed, and really always next man up. The other night, the starting O-line, those guys Green and Darrow and English with Gideon and Rogers kind of held. They had to man it themselves that night. There weren't a lot of guys there, but there'll be other nights some others may step up. But versus a really strong interior defense, really impressed and praised Sherman with the way they played. But at the same time, though, at running back, we had all kinds of guys step up. Jalen Hawkins ran as good as I've ever seen him run in that game, being physical, really providing an inspiration, some energy for the team. Lawrence Worth provided some carries early, but he had to play more defense as the game went on. Actually, the man of the night, running back-wise, was Cern Rogers, who came in as kind of if you want to list him, he was the number 4 guy. Maybe he's going to get 5 to 10 carries, end up having 20 for over 150. So you just, as a collective group, you never really know. You don't know which receiver this week's going to have the 7 catches for touchdowns, or the Landry Tyson from last week that had the big one for 59 when Ryan left the pocket. So it's really neat to see this group grow. They got a great positive energy about them, what they like to do, and they're not afraid to work. And that's what put them in a position to be successful the other night.
Tell us about the Seminole Ridge defense. What do you know about them so far?
Well, schematically, they're the same as Sherman. Personnel-wise, they're way different. They're smaller and faster. Extremely quick up front. Really big at linebacker. Sherman played some smaller linebackers. Seminole Ridge has one that's 6'4", 225 that's trying to knock you out when he comes and gets you. Some speed guys in the back end. They run to the football, very aggressive, change direction. We've got to really mind our details. A 6-inch step needs to be 6. If it's 2, it's not going to be effective. If it's 10, it's not going to be effective. Just the little thing it's going to take to be successful offensively this week.
All right. They had a close loss, I believe.
They played a team called Pahokee, a smaller class, but really a high-ranked team. The team that beat them had 2 college-recruited receivers, and they played really well. I know from last year they didn't have a great season, got a new coach and some new energy about them, and they're a challenge for us. We've got to really execute. They're going to get to things in a hurry. We're hoping some of the things we do they don't see as much, so they may not fit the same way. So it'll be a little filling out process, how they play some things, what their level of quickness, does it translate to an LE quickness? Or, there's different kinds of quickness. The East Texas quickness, is that don't be the same as the Florida quickness, or is Florida even a little bit faster? We'll see. But really it comes back offensively to do what we do. Execute, play physical, play fast.
There was obviously emphasis on the running game, and I guess that goes back to kind of what's working and how you feel and all that kind of stuff. But we may see a little bit more passing. I mean, it just depends on the situation.
It just depends. The other night when the rain came, it slowed us down a little bit through the air. We also, as you get first downs and get going, those ratios are a little bit better. If you go look in the second half, that's where it got skewed. We're still, 47 to 30, and you really go into a couple of scrambles, it was probably 45-35. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't too far off of a 50-50, which we like to be most nights. So if we're throwing the ball about 30 times a game, that's probably about right for us. We don't want to get too skewed the other way. But again, it really comes down to what teams are giving us. If they're giving us things outside, we'll take it. If they're giving us things inside, we'll take it.
Wildcats defense gave up several big plays last Friday night, but they shut down Sherman in the fourth quarter, allowing no points by making some key stops and forcing turnovers. Wildcats defensive coordinator Tristan Abram talked about the Sherman game and the Seminole Ridge offense the Wildcats will see this Friday in Orlando.
I am extremely excited about the way that our kids competed and they played. We discussed before the big play issue, and that actually came into play on Friday. We gave up 2 big plays back to back that they scored on, I believe in the second quarter, and then come out in the second half and they scored again. First play out of the gate, and those 3 things rather were issues because. We're trying to stop what the first 2 or the second 2 touchdowns actually of the game, but they were the big runs, and we're trying to stop those 2 runs, and then they take advantage of our adjustment, and actually they score another one, and so with that being said, you take away those 3 plays, and if we just continue to play the way that we had been playing, reading our keys properly and fitting where we're supposed to fit, believe it or not, that takes away those 3 touchdowns, and it makes it tough for them to move the football. With that being said, also their first touchdown that they scored, I disagreed with a call that was made that actually set up that touchdown. But with that being said, I was really excited about the way the kids were playing. And once again, you take away 3 big plays and then 1 pass later on that turned into a big play. We handled our own defensively. So we have to do a better job of eliminating big plays, but continue to play with the passion and the effort that we played with. I was really excited about the guys and their fight and just continuous effort throughout the game, and it was a roller coaster. And that was really good to see them play in that type of atmosphere and in that emotional environment, because they got after it and answered the call.
As we've talked before, in modern football, really the emphasis is on stops, however many you can get, and turnovers. And that's exactly what happened in a big fourth quarter. The defense really came up. The Wildcats were never won if you had not had those stops and turnovers, in my opinion, in the fourth quarter.
Right, I agree with you. And I guess just being the devil's advocate, if we don't put ourselves in position to be there, and not allow the big plays early, then it makes things a lot better and a lot less stressful. But with that being said, you're exactly right. Whenever we needed to answer the call, we answered the call and went out and played great defense. I'm going to say that we tackled better than we've tackled in the past few years. And that's just really an effort thing. That's being in the right place and knowing where to fit, how to fit, and knowing where my help is going to come from. So, I'm really excited about the way that the guys are playing. I know that we're only one game in. But the adjustments that we had to make throughout the game, and with that being said, when it comes to adjustments, I mean, this is a new scheme for the kids. Believe it or not, it's a new scheme for the coaches. Not a single defensive coach has ever run a 3-4. So we're all learning together as we go. But the kids coming out making adjustments. Hats off to the coaches in the press box, on the field. I mean, everyone did a great job of making adjustments and figuring out what was going on that was hurting us and countering what they were doing.
Tell us about Seminole Ridge and their offense.
Well, Seminole Ridge and their offense. Again, this being a new scheme that we're running defensively, this is not the type of offense that you just really thrilled to see. They're an old school slot T set. You're going to see a lot of motioning, see a lot of linemen pulling, lots of misdirection. It's really what most would consider a kind of a smash mouth, in your face, coming at you football. So that's going to be a challenge in itself. I told someone the other day that we probably won't see another offense like this until we get pretty deep in the playoffs, because just a lot of people don't do this anymore. So this is going to be a week of focus and discipline. As long as you're focused and disciplined every snap, especially playing an offense like this, then you're going to be fine, because your key is going to take you where you're supposed to go. But as soon as you get your eyes off your key, now you're in trouble, because you're going to go opposite of where you probably should go. That with that being said, the scheme that they're running is a headache, and to be quite honest with you, it's very hard to simulate. So the scout team guys are doing the best that they can, but a scheme like that is based off of timing and all those things. So it's very crucial that our guys watch the film that we have on Seminole Ridge and understand what they're going to see from them, and not focus quite so much on what the scout team is giving us. They have a couple of key players that we have to make sure we contain and control. One of them is number one. He's a little slot kid who line up as a slot or a wing, and he'll also line up as a receiver. And he is shifty. He's fast. If we let him get loose, then we're in trouble. And then there's another young man. He wears number 3. He's a little bit thicker, but just as shifty. He sees holes and he'll find a way to get through that hole, no matter how big it is. So we have to do a good job of containing those guys, not allowing them to send us in the wrong direction or let them get an open field. The plan is, if we can make them throw the football, then we're doing a good job. If we don't make them throw the football, then we're in trouble, because now they're going to eat up the clock, because they're going to run the ball, and it's going to be keep away, and we're not going to get off the field. And I mean, just all these different things that come into play that we don't want to happen will happen. So we got to do a good job of being disciplined, making tackles, not letting those guys get free, and just playing sound defense.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.
Palm trees. I think we need to turn those springs into an island, y'all. Y'all ready for that? Are you ready? Take it in. Thank y'all so much.